Hi guys, welcome to Modern Wall Street's Trader Talk. Is this going to be a no problem November? Historically, it's been pretty good, but we have Matt Cheslock from Virtu Financial here to tell us what's going on. Matt, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, thanks for coming on. As always, our viewers love you. Now let's talk about yesterday. Record highs we saw in the open, but then midday, they gave up a lot of gains. As a matter of fact, I'm going to call the reversal. What happened?
Well, I think a lot of this has to do with the tax plan that's in effect, and it might have something to do with the new Fed chair too. We bought a lot of this on rumor. We were very excited about it, but it's sell on the news kind of effect. So we think it's a foregone conclusion. You might want to unwind some positions that you took prior to it. And the same thing's going on with the tax reform bill. We were hoping for more clarity on this. It looks like we're going to get a number in about 10 minutes, but I don't know if it's really going to help matters.
Yeah, last I read that we're expecting a 20% corporate tax.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. But I think, the repatriation of money, I think, is going to be the biggest thing, at least for the market, because we've seen in the past that, 50% to 80% of all that repatriated money was used for stock buybacks. That's, of course, good for the market. So, if we get a number that we can live with, maybe 12%, it's not going to be 10%, but maybe 12, 15%. We see that repatriation of money. They use it for corporate buybacks. This market could get another boost.
Whether that's good or bad for the equities, we'll see in a second. Let's talk about crude oil since it posted that golden cross. Production lowered from OPEC the past month. We also saw a larger than expected draw. Do you look at this as a bullish signal?
It should be a bullish signal, but we've seen this all along. Oil's had a pretty good move here. It seems to have stalled out here at the upper end of everyone's range. It was 45, 55. Now we're at the upper end of this range. I was surprised it held above 50. But, again, all of these are tailwinds. All these reports have come out and have helped oil, but I'm not so certain we can go too much higher. Again, I think we've made such a significant move that it might be time to lock in some profits.
All right, that's interesting news there. Now, Matt, I also want to touch upon earnings because some oil companies definitely tie into that. Expectations weren't very high, the stakes weren't high, but we are beating them. Now, something I noticed is that CapEx has really picked up, and like we mentioned, the oil companies with BP and Exxon, even Facebook. Will this help the next leg higher in economic expansion in 2018?
It should. The next revisitation of the CapEx will probably be March, April. So, these oil companies are going to want to spend what they had on the books. This is a good time to do it. They've had a little boost in oil. So you don't want to put this on. You want to lock it in right now. And that can only help. And with the guidance or the expectations that were so low, it was a very low bar to meet. We met it, and let's see if now we can take it the next leg up. But again, that's going to have a lot to do with what OPEC's talking about and demand over in Asia especially.
Speaking about economic expansion, I can't leave you without asking about the Bank of England as they raised rates for the first time in a decade. Now, the sterling got pounded on that. No pun intended, actually. But why is that? I would expect it to be the opposite.
That's a good question. I'm not like the currency maven, but I think the U.S. has been so far ahead of this, that as England's going to catch up, they have all the Brexit issues and things, that it might just been a crowded trade on the one side. It might have been a bit of short cover on a rally, on a surprise move like that.
All right, and finishing up next week, we have a pretty light economic calendar. What will you be focusing on?
It's still going to be all about earnings. I think we're going to get past this tax reform. Hopefully that gets done this week as far as a guideline or something that we can rely on. The Fed news hopefully will be out today, and we can stop trading off the rumors on that, and we can start trading on actual news. So it's still going to be a headline-driven market. You see this market move on just a headline, whether it's an earnings-related headline or something out of Washington. So you still have to be very nimble in whatever you're doing.
Yeah, trading on the news, that'll be something interesting to watch out for. Thank you so much, Matt. Always nice to have you.
All right, thanks for having me.